Hey everybody, it's Nick, and this is your debrief for the 2014 ABYC Open. This took place on May 24th, 25th, 2014 out at Ashbridges Bay Yacht Club. This is traditionally the first event of the year for most people, sometimes the first sail for most people. I was on the Beneteau Figure 1 with Stuart Rice and crew Almir, Fred, Kyle, Jess, and Laszlo. Thanks a lot, guys. I had a ton of fun the whole time. Conditions were about 8 to 12 with sunny skies. Water temps are still freezing cold, which caused some other wind issues, which I'll get into a little bit later. But it's a good first regatta to shake off the rust, and there was a lot of rust. There was a lot of rust everywhere. I don't think I saw a race without some major boat handling mistake by somebody in every fleet. Yeah, we had a J133 take their kite down well past the mark, round up, and plant right in front of us. So thank you, John and Hamish. I really appreciate that. But there's nothing you can really do. I know our boat handling at the beginning of the weekend was pretty rough, but then to be able to see the progression that you get through that, our last mark rounding was set with a very quick jibe. And it wasn't the smoothest that I've ever done, but it wasn't the worst, and we were able to pull it off and jump and pass a boat downwind that we wouldn't have been able to do, and we certainly wouldn't have been able to do that at the beginning of the weekend. So this regatta is more of a mark of your progression. There's nothing on the line. It's an open regatta. Your big championship events, your IRCNAs, your class North American Championships, those don't come up until September or August. So you have, weeks to get your boat handling together. That being said, that should be your main focus for the next, couple weeks, is getting the boat handling down so that by the time you get into those closer lead-up events, you're worrying more about your tactics, you're worrying more about your boat speed, and you're not, the boat handling's pretty crisp. This is what's going to get you the biggest gains around the race course, and having that down will save you so many boat lengths. So if you didn't have a great regatta, don't worry about it. It's not as bad as you think. It's still early. Most people weren't out there. If you had a great regatta, again, most people weren't out there, so it's not necessarily as good as you think it was. So don't take too much stock in how you did. One interesting thing out on the race course was that the air wasn't mixing all the way down to the surface. As I said before, the water temps are freezing. They're about 4 to 5 degrees centigrade right now. For any Americans watching that, you'll have to do the conversions, but it's 40-ish, high 30s. It's freezing cold. What this does is it creates a cold pocket of air right above the water, which doesn't show the same puffs, wind shifts that we're used to seeing on the water, late in the summer. We're used to seeing everything show up on the water because that warmer air mixes all the way down to the surface. Created a lot of wind shear and a much higher wind speed up at the top of your mast than it did down on deck. The race committee was seeing 5 knots most of the weekend. I think really at the top of your mast we were seeing closer to 10 to 12. So you need to be aware of that. One other thing that this did is it created some different wind conditions. If you look at the board behind me, you see our race course there with the wind coming from the top of the board. And I think there was a pretty predominant right shift most of the weekend, but with pressure on the top side of the course. So what ended up happening is you had way more pressure up in this area of the race course. So while you were able to go up on the right side of the course and point a little closer to the mark, those of us who went out to the left, got into this higher pressure sooner, were then able to basically sail faster to the mark, and you made a gain. Where this got confusing was you made your gains on the left side of the race course, but then as you came around the mark, you had to jibe almost immediately to go down the course. If you hung it out too far on starboard jibe after you rounded, you sailed a lot of extra distance and got hosed, and we saw this almost every race. So we only lost out on the left-hand side of the course, I think once, and I think that more had to do with us not going fast enough than it really being a big shift. We were riding a bit of a righty that dropped out a little bit, but I don't think that was really the main factor in what was going on, and we made some gains up on that top left coming back into it. But a lot of people got burned not jiving soon enough and ended up sailing a lot of extra distance. It's just, you're wasting time when you're doing that. So it's something to be aware of and be more heads up about when you are out there on the race course. Watch other fleets, watch what they're doing. The biggest indicator of this happening was you look up and you see the IRC1 and IRC2 boats, you know, coming right at you around the weather mark. That says that they jived immediately around the mark and are coming dead downwind at you straight towards the leeward gate. So be on top of that, be observant, be looking, and, you know, just start to get into the cycle so that by the time, you know, the fall summer championships come along, you know, you're ready for that and you can take advantage of that and not lose out. Anyways, I'm gonna try and put these out after every event that I do for you guys, so you can watch, learn, and see what I'm up to and what other people are up to. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. Also check out North Sails Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. There are girls over there putting out new content all the time, and let me know what you think. Anyways, thanks guys, bye.